It's not only nice things that come in small packages, dangerous things do as well. These minuscule killers have the capacity to inflict pain and suffering, and in some cases even death. One of these insects packs a venom so deadly that just a few of them could bring down animals millions of times larger than they are. Stick around to find out what that creature from hell is. Number 10. Ticks. Ticks are probably the most common parasites out there. Got a dog, a cat, then you've probably seen a tick before. Some ticks can also infest humans, but not to any extent like this. Pretty gross image, am I right? Well, those aren't ticks, boys and girls. Those are actually a kind of bean or seed that someone's glued to this poor boy's face. Sadly, a few unscrupulous YouTube channels are monetizing these kinds of videos, and they do get quite a hefty number of views, which is pretty sad because it does downplay how dangerous ticks actually are. They're known carriers of various diseases, some just minor irritations, while others can be downright deadly. Caused by a variety of bacteria carried by ticks, ehrlichiosis is another flu-like illness with symptoms like muscle aches, fever, chills, headache, and upset stomachs. It also occasionally causes a rash, but symptoms typically don't start until 1 to 2 weeks after exposure to infected ticks. This illness can be treated with antibiotics, but left alone it can cause serious and potentially deadly symptoms like respiratory failure, brain damage, and uncontrolled bleeding. Anaplasmosis, although spread by different bacteria, can have similar consequences and is also treatable with antibiotics, and of course, also spread by ticks. Number 9. The brown-tailed moth. Found in the northeast corner of the United States, the brown-tailed moth is often overlooked as a dangerous insect because it resembles many other harmless moth species. But just because it looks inconspicuous doesn't mean that it isn't a threat. The truth is quite contrary to what you may think. The hairs of this moth are urticating, which means they have an irritating effect, especially to us humans. The hairs readily break off and can cause an intense irritation and rash on the skin. In extreme cases, these hairs can also cause difficulty breathing. Their sheer numbers, as well as the harm that they may cause, have prompted authorities to brand them as a health hazard. The adults are active in July and August and lay batches of 150 to 250 eggs covered with brown hairs on suitable hosts, and can normally be found on hawthorn, blackthorn, plum, cherry, rose, and blackberry plants. Number 8. The spitting thick-tail black scorpion. It's often said about scorpions that small pincers and a thick, powerful tail indicate a more potent sting. The theory being that armed with a deadly venom, the scorpion won't have to rely on its pincers to subdue its prey. This certainly holds true for the spitting thicktail, which is regarded as the most dangerous scorpion in southern Africa. With a lethal dose of 4.25 milligrams, the venom itself is around the same potency as cyanide. The scorpion's size and ability to deliver a large dose contribute to the thicktail's reputation. Generally speaking, a healthy adult would be very unlucky to die from the sting of this scorpion, as the death rate is less than 1%. That doesn't mean it would be a remotely pleasant experience, though. In addition to intense pain, sweating, drooling, muscular convulsions, and heart palpitations can occur in a third of cases. Oh yeah, and another thing, spitting thicktails can spit its venom up to 3 feet, causing temporary blindness and possible permanent damage to the target's eyes. Number 7. The MARICOPA harvester ant. The MARICOPA harvester ant is a species of ant that can be found in abundance in Arizona, USA. I've actually seen this entry given where I live. It's also rumored to be found in New Mexico and even into Texas and down into regular Mexico. However, it's only known to be in the southwest part of the US. The ant is about 5 centimeters long and spends its entire life in the desert areas. These ants have 2 pairs of membranous wings, yet they will not have them for the majority of their lives. They construct huge nests that can measure more than 30 feet in diameter and be 6 feet tall. However, it is famous, or rather infamous, for having the most toxic insect venom in the entire world. For its body weight, it packs more venom than bees, wasps, or any other ants. In fact, it only took 12 stings from a harvester ant to kill a 2-kilogram animal. May not sound impressive, but it's certainly not fun either. Number 6. Kissing bugs. Kissing bugs get their name from their habit of biting humans on the face near the lips. Kind of affectionate in a creepy way, but hey, they are in fact feeding on you, which definitely sounds less affectionate. After feeding, these bugs secrete a fluid that, when ingested through the victim's mouth, eyes, or any cut in the skin, can cause a lifetime of problems. They are the only known carriers of a microscopic parasite called Trypanosoma cruzi, which causes the deadly Chagas disease, a deadly disease that causes 10,000 deaths every single year. Chagas disease is an infection that spreads throughout the body, causing a number of complications. This disease takes up to 20 years to kill a person, and dying from the disease is extraordinarily painful. Although the symptoms can be treated, there's no known effective cure for this deadly disease as of this moment. Number 5. The Indian red scorpion. There are about 1,500 species of scorpion, but believe it or not, only a few dozen of them are actually venomous. Among those that carry venom in their tails, though, the Indian red is the most lethal of all. In fact, 40% of people that have been stung by this scorpion have died, at least in some parts of the world where they're pretty common. This scorpion is a major problem in India, Sri Lanka, and Nepal, for example, because it's frequently found around human habitations where barefooted children play. Scorpions are shy, nocturnal arachnids, but will sting when threatened. Although less than 3 inches long, the India red packs a potent venom, which results in severe pain, vomiting, sweating, breathlessness, and alternating high and low blood pressure and heart rate. The venom targets the lungs and heart, and can cause death from pulmonary edema. Anti-venom has little effect on the bite, although the blood pressure medication Parazozin has been shown to reduce the mortality rate to less than 4%. Despite this, though, the Indian reds are often kept as pets in India. Maybe because, like most scorpions, they glow under a black light. We're not that bright as a race. Number 4. The brown recluse spider. The brown recluse spider, also known as violin spiders, fiddlers, or fiddlebacks, from the dark violin-shaped marking on their head, are slow-moving, retiring spiders that wander about in dim areas. They often den in footwear, clothing, and beds, and are then easily trapped against someone's skin by clothing, bedsheets, and the like. This in turn leads to the spider biting somebody. Most encounters with this spider occur from moving boxes or rooting about in closets or under beds. The range of the brown recluse in the US is mostly restricted to the Midwest, South, and Southeast. However, a number of related recluse spiders are found in Southern California and nearby areas. The bite of a brown recluse spider is extremely venomous and has led to fatalities through massive tissue loss and the subsequent infection. Sadly, fatalities from the brown recluse spiders have been reported only in children younger than 7 years. Number 3. The botfly. Botfly adults are harmless for the most part, except for when they start to lay their eggs. When the egg hatches, though, that's when the true horror begins. Botfly larvae are parasites. In other words, they survive on other creatures, feasting on their flesh as the larva develops. These larvae live just beneath the skin, and this is where they feed and develop. Any large mammal is an ideal host for these tiny burrowers, and these include humans as well. Female botflies lay their eggs on the host's skin, and when the eggs hatch, the tiny larva will then burrow into the host's skin, living and feeding in the subdermal zones. If left untreated, the larva will stay under the host's skin for 60 days, all while the host is feeling every single movement the larva makes. After 60 days, another adult botfly emerges. Botflies can be found across Central and South America, so the chances of getting infected by these parasites is quite high. It's very important to consult a doctor if you find yourself infected, because if left untreated, these tiny larvae can deal permanent damage to your skin. Number 2. The Deathstalker Scorpion. The Deathstalker is another highly venomous scorpion and is found in scrubland habitats from North Africa to the Middle East and Central Asia. A single bite rarely kills a healthy adult, but it can be fatal for children who require massive amounts of anti-venom. The Deathstalker's venom is a mix of 4 potent neurotoxins that can cause heart failure. In 2010, Air Force Staff Sergeant Monique Monroe Harris was stung by one of these scorpions in Iraq and then medevaced to Germany. Her blood pressure dropped to near zero multiple times on the flight before she was given anti-venom. Her call sign is now Scorpion Queen, despite the fact that maybe that's a little insensitive. Who knows? The Deathstalker's venom also has the distinction of being the most expensive liquid in the world, at $39 million per gallon. That's because it's difficult to collect, and you get only a tiny drop per scorpion. In fact, it takes about 2.64 million milkings to get a gallon of venom. The other reason it's so expensive is that it has shown promise in treating brain cancer, arthritis, and bone disease as well. Number 1. The Brazilian Wandering Spider. The Brazilian wandering spider is a large brown spider similar to the North American wolf spider, but bigger and possessing a more toxic venom. It has the most neurologically active venom of all spiders and is regarded as the most dangerous spider in the world. Brazilian wandering spiders are active hunters and travel a lot, and they tend to crawl into cozy, comfortable places for the night and sometimes crawl into fruits and flowers as well. If the spider has a reason to be alarmed, it will bite in order to protect itself, but unless startled or aggravated, most bites will be delivered dry or without venom. Venom bites will occur if the spider is pressed against something or hurt, and in this case, the high levels of serotonin contained in the venom will deliver a very painful bite that can result in muscle shock. Occasional deaths have occurred even after anti-venom treatment. Children are more sensitive to the bites of wandering spiders, as the spiders often make threat gestures, such as raising up their legs or hopping sideways on the ground. This in turn would entrance any curious child. Children also have weaker immune systems, and even if anti-venom is quickly administered, death can occur within minutes after the bite. Thank you all for watching.